The world is changing faster than many of us realize. For decades, when we thought of global military power, one name dominated the picture: the United States, with its vast alliances and unmatched arms sales. But now, another player is stepping out from the shadows, determined to reshape the balance of power: China. And this isn't just about building tanks or jets, it's about rewriting the rules of security, alliances, and influence across the globe. If you're following today's geopolitics, you'll know this isn't a minor shift. This is a once-in-a-generation transformation. China, once focused on its own region, is now emerging as a true global military force. And at the heart of it lies what some call the Defense Silk Road. Before we go deeper into how this new strategy is unfolding, let me pause for just a second. If you find this kind of in-depth breakdown valuable, go ahead and hit that like button and share this video with friends who care about where the world is heading. It really helps bring these complex topics to a wider audience. Now, let's unpack what's happening. For a long time, China was cautious about exporting advanced weapons. It sold downgraded versions of its systems, avoided messy conflicts, and stuck to the official line of non-interference. Beijing often contrasted itself with Washington, pointing out how US arms sales fueled instability worldwide. But in recent years, that caution has evaporated. The Chinese Defense Ministry has openly declared its readiness to share advanced military technology with friendly countries. This is a remarkable shift, and it's already visible on the ground. Take Iran as the most striking example. After its air defense systems were battered in joint US-Israeli strikes, Iran turned to Beijing. China supplied the powerful HQ-9B air defense missiles, capable of tracking stealth fighters like the F-35 and reaching targets hundreds of kilometers away. These systems don't just defend Iranian skies, they send a clear message. Iran is no longer dependent on outdated Soviet designs or vulnerable supply chains. But it doesn't stop there. Reports suggest China has been shipping thousands of tons of missile fuel and components to Tehran, enough to build hundreds of ballistic missiles. During the last 12-day clash with Israel, Iran reportedly launched 400 to 550 missiles, and without Chinese support, replenishing that arsenal would have been impossible. This partnership changes the strategic calculus. For Iran, Chinese weapons are a shield and a warning. For China, it's a gamble. Deepen ties with a controversial partner, but risk global backlash if things spiral. And Iran is only one node. Look across North Africa and the Middle East and you'll see the same pattern: the Defense Silk Road in action. Algeria is now among Beijing's largest arms clients, buying advanced ballistic missiles, naval corvettes, and more. Traditionally a Russian-supplied military, Algeria is diversifying quickly. With a $25 billion defense budget, it's Africa's biggest arms buyer, and Beijing now has a military foothold directly across the Mediterranean from NATO. Egypt has also pivoted toward China. Tired of Western restrictions designed to maintain Israel's advantage, Cairo has begun integrating Chinese air defense systems and is exploring fighter jets like the J-10C and even the stealthy J-35A. Chinese offers aren't just about hardware. They often include technology transfer and even local assembly, something Egypt has demanded for years. And then there's Pakistan, China's closest military partner. From the jointly developed JF-17 fighter jet to advanced destroyers, Pakistan is deeply tied into China's defense ecosystem. This relationship locks Islamabad into Beijing's orbit for decades to come, ensuring that India's growing power faces a constant counterweight. But the story doesn't stop at Asia or North Africa. Saudi Arabia is now co-producing drones with China. Venezuela has quietly received Chinese transport aircraft and radars. One by one, China is weaving a global net of clients, partners, and dependencies. Here's the bigger picture. When a country builds its air defense or naval power on Chinese systems, it's not just a buyer, it becomes reliant on Beijing for spare parts, upgrades, training, and integration. These are not one-time sales. They're decades-long relationships that tie countries to China's orbit. And this is where I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think China's Defense Silk Road is a smart way to secure long-term influence? Or is Beijing biting off more than it can chew by arming volatile regions? Drop your opinion in the comments below. I always enjoy seeing how our community weighs in on these big shifts. Now let's step back and see how all of this fits into China's broader strategy. The Defense Silk Road isn't separate from the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI. They're two sides of the same coin. If China is investing billions into railways, ports, and pipelines across Asia, Africa, and beyond, it also needs to ensure those projects are secure. Military partnerships guarantee that allies can defend infrastructure, and by extension defend China's long-term interests. This is also about shaping the global security architecture. By selling advanced missile systems or naval vessels, China creates strategic bubbles that make it harder for the US and its allies to operate freely. Suddenly, Washington isn't just focused on the Pacific. It has to worry about the Mediterranean, the Gulf, and the Indian Ocean too. That stretches resources and divides attention, which benefits Beijing. Still, it's important to note, China isn't yet dominating the global arms trade. According to SIPRI, Chinese exports actually dipped slightly between 2020 and 2024. Many countries still prefer Western suppliers for political reasons, or because they want the prestige of American or European systems. China's strength lies in reaching customers who are either excluded by Western suppliers or who want more flexible terms. Affordability, fewer political strings, generous financing, and the promise of tech transfer. These make Chinese systems very appealing. And for countries sidelined by the West, Beijing offers something Washington often won't: partnership without lectures. But there are risks. By arming countries in unstable regions, China could fuel conflicts that undermine its own economic interests. Tying itself too closely to controversial partners like Iran could trigger unintended entanglements. And while dependency works in Beijing's favor, it also creates expectations that China must keep delivering, sometimes at high cost. Western responses to this shift vary. Some see it as a dangerous threat. Others take a more realist view, acknowledging that great power competition makes it inevitable. A third school argues the West needs to compete smarter, not by blocking arms sales alone, but by offering better partnerships that combine security with economic development. What's clear is that the old order, the US and Europe dominating global arms sales, is ending. A multipolar arms market is emerging, with China firmly planted as a central player. So, what does this mean for us watching from the outside? It means the world we're moving into will look very different from the one many of us grew up with. The alliances of tomorrow won't just be written in treaties, they'll be wired into radar systems, missile batteries, and naval fleets built by China. As China builds this defense Silk Road, it's not only projecting military power, it's creating a lasting legacy of influence. Whether this becomes the smartest play of the century or whether Beijing finds itself overextended remains to be seen. But one thing is beyond doubt. The game has changed, and the balance of power is shifting before our eyes. And with that, thank you for staying with me through this deep dive into one of the biggest stories of 21st century geopolitics. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more content like it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you won't miss future videos. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.